Hey everyone, welcome to day 6 of the 7-day fast start. By this point, you should have a really good idea for your niche, a pretty optimized LinkedIn profile, and a list of target clients and a messaging strategy that you're ready to send. You should have an idea of exactly what you want to send to a prospective client. So this video is going to be a bit different than the rest because in this lesson, I'd like to really share with you some thoughts around mindset and taking action. Mindset and taking action. Because here's the deal. I know you probably feel like you're not ready yet. And I know you probably want to tweak a few more things before you officially launch and reach out to potential clients. But the main thing is taking action. Please don't be one of those people that consume content, watch videos, but don't do anything with it. I mean, what's the point of that if you think about it? Because knowledge is only as useful as it's applied. If you don't apply what you learn, then you might as well have not learned it at all, right? If you think about it. So and I'm trying to encourage you because if you don't take action and you don't do it soon, statistically speaking, you might not ever take action, right? It's like the laws of physics. Things in motion tend to stay in motion, but things at rest tend to stay at rest. Is that Newton's first law? I was not very good at school. I was a bad Asian. So right now, you've been doing a good job of learning, but you are literally at rest, like a big, heavy rock. So unless you take action, you're probably just going to stay stationary. So let me try to paint some pictures of what happens if you don't take action and what happens if you do. And again, forgive me if you've already launched, if you're like, John, I don't need to hear this. I've already reached out to 100 hiring managers. Good for you. I'm speaking directly. This is directly and exactly and only for those of you who are chomping at a bit to take action, but you're feeling some sort of fear of the unknown, fear of change. And this is normal. Like I felt it. Everyone feels it to a degree, right? So I'm talking to you guys here because here's the deal. Over the last 5 years, I've talked to well over 1,000 people who've told me they've been interested in starting their own recruiting business. They want to be their own boss. They see recruiting as the right vehicle for them. They love helping people, so recruiting really fits their personality. And they see the financial upside for themselves, their family, and how it can change their life. However, despite that, literally only like 3 to 5% of all the people I've talked to actually tried to do this. They've actually tried to launch. They've reached out to potential clients. 3 to 5%, that's it. The vast majority are stuck in this trap of like someday maybe. Someday if all the stars are aligned, all my ducks in a row, I feel ready, I have more experience, I have some more cash in the bank. Life is, all my other life stuff is kind of like died down. I have a really clear road ahead, nothing's in my way, and then I'll actually try this. You guys know what happens there, right? Nothing ever happens. And here's the deal. I understand this because I was in that place too. I was there too. I mean, for like almost 3 years, the last 3 years of my recruiting career while I was working at different recruiting agencies, I told people, my coworkers, one day I'm going to branch out my own. One day when I'm ready, I'm going to do something. I'm going to start my own agency. I'm going to start my own recruiting business. And for years, all I did was talk. I never took action because, I mean, I hate to admit this, but if I were really honest with myself, I was just afraid. Like, I just didn't feel quite ready. I was afraid of rejection. I was afraid of success. What if I reached out and, a CEO, a VP level hiring manager wanted to jump on a call with me? Like, then what, right? Like, so for me, it's this pipe dream. But of course, for me, like what took me to get action was I was that heavy rock. I was stationary. I was talking a big game. I did nothing, right? I too was afraid. It took me getting laid off and my whole division getting laid off, and that took me from being stationary into motion because I was getting kicked to the curb. So I was like, woo, I was in motion. I was about to get kicked to the curb on the street, and I figured since I'm already in motion, I might as well continue that motion and try to go start my own thing. But if it wasn't for that foot on that kick in the ass and getting laid off, kicked to the curb, I probably would still be working at different recruiting jobs to this day. I wouldn't be talking to you guys. So, and really look, when I talk to people who tell me, John, I've been thinking about it for years, I'm finally ready to give this a shot. I can kind of see in their eyes that they regret the indecision. They regret not betting on themselves. And regret is a terrible thing to feel, right? When they say, John, I wish I did this 5 years ago. And even the people who I've worked with that did have success, you see my case studies, all those interviews, the thing that I think at least 3, 4, 5 people in those case studies, those testimonials have said is, I wish I started this sooner. So regrets are a terrible thing to feel, especially if you have some sort of gut feeling that's calling upon you to bet on yourself. This is a time. Let me be the person, the champion in your corner saying you can do this because you can, right? You can. I've worked with so many people over the last 5 years, many who have no recruiting experience, no sales experience, no business experience. And despite that, they went on to launch a very profitable recruiting business, made tons of money only because of one thing. They took action. So hopefully that wasn't overly dramatic, but hopefully that paints a picture of what happens likely and how you're going to feel if you don't take action. Now, if you do take action, here's what's going to happen, right? Once you do take action, the moment you do, I want you to, it's going to sound silly, but I literally do this. I want you to pat yourself on the back and say, that's like me. That hard thing I did, that's like me. I'm the type of person that does that. And because that's like a muscle that you're building, a muscle of self-confidence, a muscle of like a character, right? And you're just telling your subconscious, you're telling yourself, your soul, that I am an action taker. I'm not one of those people that consume content, do nothing, feels like it's productive, but right, like all the ideas just kind of gather dust and nothing happens, right? Imagine how good you'll feel about yourself knowing that despite the fear, uncertainty, risk, you actually took action, you reached out, you put yourself out there. And this is kind of cliche, but perfection is the enemy of progress. And imperfect action beats doing nothing all the time. Every day of the week, twice on Sundays, imperfect action beats inaction. So the action item for you guys today, you probably know where I'm going with this, is immediately after this video ends, go on LinkedIn and send one connection request to a hiring manager. That's it. Reach out to one potential client. That's all I ask. But John, my LinkedIn profile, website, it's not quite dialed in yet. Hey, I get it. Do it anyways, please. John, my message isn't quite perfect yet, and I don't want to send anything out without a perfect message. Hey, no problem. I get it. I'm kind of a perfectionist myself. Guess what? Just send a blank connection request. Just go in their profile, hit send connection request, hit send a blank one, and that's it. You're done. 3 seconds is all it'll take, right? Sending a blank connection request, they'll accept it, and now you're connected. Now you have a chance to then work on your perfect message to send them at that point. Now, here's the deal. I'm not above using guilt trips. I learned it from my mom, who's the best at it. So here it goes. Here's my guilt trip for you guys. At this point, it's day 6 of the 7-day fast start. I've poured hours and hours into sharing this content that's normally reserved for my private clients at no cost to you at all. And I'm guessing you've gotten some value from it so far if you're still watching. So all I ask in exchange for all the hours I poured into this content for you is for you to take 3 seconds of your time, pull up a hiring manager's profile on LinkedIn, hit send connection request. That's it. Then once you do, here's what's going to happen. You will officially be off the bench and onto the playing field. That's the whole point of all this. This whole point of this whole video is for me to encourage you to get your ass off the bench and go onto the playing field and be one of those people. Go from theory to action. In this way, you can officially tell people, your friends, family members, that, hey, I started reaching out to potential clients for my recruiting business. You can say that. You can say, I've taken action. They say, hey, how's that recruiting business idea going? Oh, it's going pretty good. I started reaching out to a hiring manager yesterday and hopefully they get back to me and I can take it from there. Like, you can have that conversation instead of, I'm still working on it, because no one wants to really talk about that. They want to talk to you about what action you took, what happened. That's what excites other people. And guess what? That momentum that you're going to feel is infectious. They're going to feel momentum as well. So by you taking action and pursuing your goals and dreams, you are giving people unconsciously that you talk to permission as well to follow up on their dreams, to take actions on their goals. And I mean, that's the best. That's the whole purpose of all of this, right? So that's it, guys. One last thing, in the next video, day 7, I'm going to show you exactly how to respond to hiring managers who reply back to your connection request on LinkedIn, right? So I'm going to give you my exact response framework of, if they reply this, here's what you say. They say this, here's what you say. They say, we don't use recruiters. This is our proven response framework that you can copy and paste, tweak it to make it your own voice, and just send it. And the response framework, this kind of a decision tree flow chart, is optimized to have you have the highest response rate possible. If they say, what are your fees? I got you. I have the exact response you can use. I'll give you the word for word response of how I reply back to hiring managers. But here's the deal. Of course, none of that's going to be interesting or relevant to you if you haven't started reaching out to hiring managers yet. So the next video is not going to be useful if you don't take action. All right, so I'm going to go take off. I'm going to wrap up this video so that you can take those 3 seconds and reach out to a hiring manager. So guys, thank you in advance for being an action taker towards your goals for your business to improve your life. This is all about you, not about me at all. Your goals, your business, your life, your family, everything, your dreams. This is all about taking action towards your stuff. So I believe in you. You got this. Make it happen. And I'll see you in the next video.